This week on Married to Medicine.
I don't know if they're fearful of heavenly or if they are just the same people and they use heavenly as their tool to manifest bad behavior.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 7. Let's get right into this. Alright, so this episode begins with everybody going over to Heavenly and Damon's house for a barbecue. So all the ladies are going with their men. We see them on their car rides there. I gotta say, over here, Simone, Jackie, and Cecile, it makes me uncomfortable when mothers talk about their children's private parts. It's just like, yuck. That's what Simone and Jackie were talking about. Anyway, Simone then asks Jackie, how is the planning going for the Met Gala? And Jackie says, well, Phaedra won't answer my messages, and then she begins to mimic Phaedra. Not only that, Jackie actually ended up going to Heavenly so that Heavenly could be her co-chair, because remember, she had asked Phaedra to be her co-chair. So, on the other car, Quad is telling Phaedra, girl, you better run the minutes on what you've done, because Jackie is going around saying that she's nervous on your participation when it comes to the Met Gala. Let me say this. I've called out Quad when I've had to, but Quad, you're a real one for this. Thank you for telling Phaedra what is being said about her. And of course, Phaedra isn't happy about this, and she rips Jackie a new one on her confessional. She says, I don't care if she's nervous. Jackie clearly is only doing this to make up for her reckless comments of last year. And just as a reminder, Jackie pretty much had insulted black women who were pregnant at the time. So then they get to Heavenly's house, and I'm sorry, I just can't help but to not think of the iconic pressure wash this mother. Mariah, I miss you. The only reason, I definitely miss Mariah. So the barbecue is because they're celebrating Zachary's progress to becoming a doctor, Heavenly's son. Simone said something about giving him money, and Heavenly's like, yeah, take all the money they give you. I agree with that. When they were going down, Phaedra needed some help down because it was kind of like a very low hill, and Quad says, you need some help? Phaedra, you can grab onto his arm. Man, Phaedra got that man's whole hand. Quad says, I said the arm. Listen, I love Phaedra, but Quad, you gotta be careful. So, King is introduced to all of the guys. Now, I gotta say, I'm gonna give Quad the benefit of the doubt. I really hope that this isn't a Renaman a la Kenya Moore style, but I'm really liking King and Quad together. I gotta be honest. I like their chemistry. He's, holding on to her as he should. Then they split. The men are eating downstairs on the porch and the women are up. Now, one thing about Toya is that she ain't got no filter. She says, Quad, what'd you do to get a Rolls Royce? No ring, no baby? Is that a new Atlanta thing? And Quad says, no, that's a King thing. No, I still think that was a rented car, but that's neither here nor there. So the men are giving King some advice on how the situations can get in this group and how the women can get into it. Things might be repeated. They might fight about it again, but sometimes they get over it. King says that he is from Jamaica, and I think he's cool. He's got some swag, he looks nice, and he says that he's not going to get into the women's business. So, up there with the ladies, going back to Toya. Toya, listen, she can be wrong at times, but I truly do appreciate her honesty and her bluntness and just keeping it real. So she says that she thinks that the trip was not successful because it didn't bring them closer. And then she says to Heavenly, I would like for you to make an apology to Contessa over the mama comment. But then Heavenly deflects and she says, well, I don't know about that. I can't promise something and not deliver like Phaedra does. And then she says to Phaedra, my friend came to me and she was frantic and said that you haven't done ish for her. Simone says, yeah, Phaedra, they've even made Heavenly the co-chair. And Phaedra says, if you want my job, you can have it. I promise 100,000, and if I gotta give it for my own money, I ain't gonna let no bitches like y'all act like I'm not gonna give it. So the women got mad at this comment, and then in their confessional, they're all like, "What did she mean by that?" And then Simone said something. She said that they were all in the same income level as Phaedra. Now, Simone, wake up. Phaedra, I'm only saying this because you said it first. Phaedra is not in your income level. Y'all, yes, y'all are successful. I'm not taking that away from any of y'all. But this is Phaedra Parks, okay? She probably, I know for a fact that she didn't sign that trader's contract without it being over $1 million, okay? Even on her time on rhoa, she was one of the highest paid housewives. So we don't get it twisted now. Quad then suggests that they should all, as a group, commit to giving a certain amount of money to the charity that they're going to be raising funds on in the Met Gala. They say that $2,500 sounds good from each one of them. Jackie then says, "Somebody call Contessa and Lateasha so they know." And again, you guys, props to Toya. She says, "You call her. And how are you going to ask them for money when you're not even supporting them to be in the friend group?" Toya, I am literally applauding you. You're so right. How dare they? She even says, Toya says that they run a dictatorship, but this got to be a democracy. Let me say this. I cannot stand Jackie's nonchalant, nasty attitude. It irks me, to use her own words. And you know what? Phaedra is better than me, because how dare you ask me to help you? Use me for my connections, because Phaedra's very connected from Atlanta to New York to California. She just is. So you're going to use me for my connections, and then you're going to trash me to anybody that's willing to listen? Oh, that's messed up. Absolutely not. So ungrateful, so nasty, and so rude. Anyway, they then go to see the bow, and they all congratulate Zachary on becoming a professional, and he's going to be a doctor, especially because he is a black man, and there's a very low percentage of minority doctors, so the fact that he's bridging that gap is amazing. I'm happy for him. I hope that he never comes across a woman who disparages him and his profession the same way his mother has done to many, like Dr. G. So it is in a new day, and Phaedra has a little lunch in her house, and she invites Lateasha over. Now, Phaedra, what is up with you and all these young men that you have around your house calling them butlers? What is really going on? Phaedra says to Sweetie, "I'm guessing you were not invited to the party," and Sweetie says, "Obviously not." They talk about the trip, and then Phaedra gives her the rundown on all the mess that Jackie has been talking about her. She says, "Jackie's got time to gossip, but not time to call me. I mean, it's her vision." And Sweetie says, "Yeah, Jackie will hold anybody accountable but her bestie. She never will." And I love what Phaedra said. She said, "Heavenly gets a pass every single time." And I don't know if it's because they're afraid of Heavenly, or if they are just like Heavenly but use her to manifest their own bad behavior. She then says, "You can't sit next to the devil and not have devilish ways." Ooh, Phaedra, you ain't never lied. Well, you have, but not here, not here. Phaedra says that Heavenly was talking about how she might consider giving Contessa an apology, and Sweetie says, well, she's not willing to do that with me because Heavenly just doesn't respect her as a person, which is sad because Phaedra's like, Heavenly's a strong church member, and Sweetie says, "Yeah, well, what church does she go to?" And Phaedra says, "Hell's First Baptist." Now that was funny. But yeah, that was so funny. But I do feel bad for Sweet Tea. Heavenly clearly doesn't respect her, and I see a lot of women. It's really sad because it's specifically women who like go after Sweet Tea on social media, and it's like that is so whack. Like, y'all, stop. That's not even funny. And they I do feel like they don't respect her, and that's not okay at all, especially from people calling themselves Christians, as Phaedra mentioned. So anyway, it is then the next day. It's the day of the Met Gala. I did love the theme. It was like flowers and like the enchanted forest. I liked it. The decorations were on point. Now, with that being said, I didn't see no chairs. I didn't see no food either. So what's that about? When Heavenly gets there, she's already being messy, asking, "Well, what did Phaedra do? What did she contribute to?" And Jackie says, "She didn't come through. She hasn't even raised a single dollar yet." Again, so ungrateful. The rest of the women are still at home getting ready, and let me say this, Dr. Contessa is a beauty. She's a beauty. She's beautiful. But I'm a little sad at her fashion. It's not all the way there, and I'm so glad they told her to take that thing off her head. Then we see King and Quad getting ready. Quad says to him if he's planning on saying anything to her ex-husband, and King says, no, that's in the past. We're in the present. Are you still living in the past? And she's like, oh, no, 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 no. I don't drive in the rear view mirror. F him. Well, here's the thing, Quad. You are stuck in the past because if you weren't, you wouldn't even have asked King that question that you did to begin with. So I'm not saying you're living in the past, but you are stuck there. It is then time for the actual gala. We see everybody arriving. I will say personally, and y'all let me know what your thoughts were on who was the best dressed. I think Phaedra, Quad, dare I say, Dr. Simone, and Sweet Tea, I think they brought it for sure. We saw some familiar faces, Anila, Karen, Alicia. I miss her. I wish they would have brought Dr. Alicia back. We are introduced this episode to Dr. Mimi, a psychiatrist, and her husband Steve, former NFL player, which we saw some photos of the final couple strip that they will be there, so they're going to be more involved as the season continues. They look like a beautiful couple. It looks like also they're very close with Sweet Tea and Dr. G. Contessa came without her husband, Scott. She didn't want to be around Heavenly, especially after everything that was said, and I totally get that. You guys, Curtis is so tall. He looks like a giant. Dr. G and Damon make up. So, I guess Damon took the advice that Eugene gave him. He never really apologized for what his wife said. All he pretty much said was, like, let's be cool. And Dr. G accepted it, though, and Damon said that he was actually hurt about the whole situation, and Greg forgives him, and they even gave each other a hug. So Cecile was really happy about that. So then Jackie gets up on that stage with Phaedra and Heavenly. I was just thinking, oh Lord, Jackie with a mic at an event? Please don't expose someone in their medical condition. No, but all jokes aside, she talks about the four moms, which is the foundation that they are raising the funds for. A man named Charles started this because his wife died during childbirth. So this is really important, and I'm glad that beyond the messiness and the pettiness in reality TV, they can come together for a good cause. It was great to see Dwight. He was helping them with the auction. Now, if you're gonna have an auction, y'all, have some good stuff. So the first item was a trip to Morocco, flight not included. The other things were like treatments, shots, and things like that. Quad goes up there to pitch herself. She will be hosting a cooking class for $3,000. Damn. Um, it ends up selling for 1,150. One of the other things was a date with Phaedra for 4,000. It was a bit awkward because there were not a lot of suitors that came. Now, to be fair, and Phaedra's my favorite, so maybe I'm being a little biased. Most of the men there were married, so let's keep that in mind, people. Um, Phaedra called some guy named Jackie Patterson, and he goes up there and he says he loves Phaedra and he'll take her on a date. So sold to him. Another item was a nice little glass bowl that Quad made herself. Somehow she's able to sell it for 5,000. So anyway, Jackie, Phaedra, and Heavenly then go back. They go to the back to count how much money they've raised, and they raised about 53,000. So that's about half of the 100,000. So Phaedra says it's okay. I'll take care of the rest. So she's gonna take care of the other 46,000. That's amazing. I'm telling you, the other ladies are definitely not in the same income level. If they were, Dr. Simone, if y'all are, why didn't you donate the 46,000? Just saying. Anywho, that is a lot of money. So props to Phaedra because she's got jobs. She's got degrees. Phaedra then writes the big check, and her writing is beautiful. And then they give the check to Charles. So it was a really nice ending. And that was the end of the episode. So y'all, let me know what your thoughts were on this episode. Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.